So I lost both of my legs and my vision. So at that point of my life, I just gave up.
Shaquil Aribuk shares how he caught a flesh-eating bacteria that changed his life. At a young age, he began hanging out with the rough crowd.
These friends of mine, they were affiliated with some wrong crowd of people. And then that's how I started getting to learn about the life in the street. And then from there, I started selling contrabands and I became a user of that contraband. And then that had led me to become addicted to drugs, very highly addicted to drugs. I was hiding it from most of my friends and my family. So I injected drugs through my legs. It was just easy for me to hide. It was just unsanitary and then the unsanitary needles.
In 2019, Shaq began feeling ill.
I just felt like cold and sweaty. And I start feeling tingling on both of my legs. But I thought, yeah, my legs were just sleeping, so I'll just slap it and they'll like kind of stop tingling. But then the tingles will come back and then there'll be like sharp tingling pain, like as if someone is using needles to poke the inside of my legs. And being young and dumb, I didn't know exactly what to do, and so I kept pushing myself to go back to work. I had like the flu symptoms, like runny nose, cold, and then I guess that's how the bacteria was. It was like starting, but I didn't know. The pain was just getting worse and worse. We went to the urgent care, and then the doctor specifically told me he doesn't have a MRI machine, so he recommended me to go into the ER. I was afraid if I go to the ER and then I would get bills to pay and then it'll affect my credit scores and all of that. So I was just thinking about that and not thinking about my health.
His symptoms eventually became unbearable.
I just tried to take the pain, and I was just trying to walk and I couldn't walk. I couldn't even stand up. We tried calling the ambulance, but it was just taking too long. So my roommate was like, no, we're just going to take my car. We're going to bring you to the ER right now. At that time, I still had consciousness. So I remember getting in the car, and then on the drive, on the way to the ER, that's where I started losing consciousness. They transferred me onto the wheelchair. And then once we entered the ER, and then that's where I collapsed.
Shaq woke up 10 days later.
That's where the most challenging life moment of my life happened, because I remember waking up in just total darkness and confused. So right away I had asked the medical staff, like, how can you guys work in the dark? After I said that, they just red flagged them, so then they let the doctor know right away. And then from there I went under a bunch of eye examination, and that's where they confirmed that I'm completely blind.
He was diagnosed with a flesh-eating disease called necrotizing fasciitis.
The bacteria had infected both of my optic nerves, so then my eyes, like, they move normal, they move around, all the muscles are completely fine. It's just the optic nerves. So then I just have no vision. But that's okay, life is good.
The bacteria also affected his legs.
So at the hospital, that's where my legs started turning black and purple. When I woke up, yeah, they had told me right away, yes, both of my legs are amputated. And then English is my second language. So I thought amputee. When I heard amp, I remember because I used to connect speakers. So I said, oh, maybe amp is like giving more power or something. But then when they left the room, my cousin was sitting down and said, do you know the word amputee? I said, no. He said, man, they cut off both of your legs. I'm like, what? I gave up, and I had built a mentality like, man, I can't even go back. I can't find a job. I can't continue life. I cannot find a job. I cannot do everything that I wanted to do. Playing sports, and I had cars. I just lost all of those, and I'm like, dang, I can't live my life normal now. I'm like, okay, once I get discharged from this hospital, I'm gonna go back to what I used to do, because I can do nothing, so I'm just gonna drink alcohol and continue doing drugs until I die.
He received more bad news.
My grandma went to the hospital as well, and she was battling stage 4 cancer. While I was still recovering in the hospital, I eventually lost my grandmother. I was just hopeless, and I didn't know how to deal with all of these, like losing both of my legs, my vision, and then my grandma.
He was eventually released from the hospital, but a trip back was his wake-up call.
I was just abusing drugs and alcohol and not following my diet. I had formed a pancreatic acidosis right on top of my pancreas, and it grew to 8.9 centimeters. Scared me to the core because I thought the bacteria had came back, and they assured me, Shaq, it's not the necrotizing fasciitis. They had to admit me to the hospital for 1 month. I just remember that my grandma she always taught me, like, hey, when you get into like a scary moment of your life, and you just gotta always pray. So then at that time I just heard her voice, so then I was like, okay, let me pray. So then I just put my mind together and I prayed, and I asked God, like, what is my purpose? Because I don't have any legs, I don't have my vision, and I felt like he's just trying to spare my life. And yeah, it was the second time he spared my life, so then I had to ask him, like, what is my purpose? Like, please show me a sign, show me what is my purpose in life. And he had sent these lovely angels of his. Yeah, they're the caseworker at the Providence Hospital. And then they came into my room and they had brochures of the Center for the Blind, Alaska Center for the Blind. I called the center right away to come and do a tour here at the Alaska Center for the Blind. We toured the whole building, and then at the very end we came to this very room I'm in right now. Yeah, when I did my tour, I met the program director, Nate Kyle, and he respectfully asked me, like, Shaq, may I ask, how long have you been blind? I said, only been blind for 5 years. And then he shared that he's been blind ever since he was 15 years old. And from there I was like, what? I finally met somebody that we could see eye to eye. He had transferred all his energy to me, and then that's where I just got all my inspiration and motivation.
So let's do some weight shifts side to side.
Shaq's new life at the center began.
From there, I just got back with my spiritual life and physical life, so I just balance it out, and here I am now, just inspiring and motivating people, and just showing anything is possible with God Almighty. They feel really nice. I'm walking.
You are walking very well, I might add.
Oh.
Yeah, I make it look so easy.
Cool.
He also got reacquainted with the hobby he loved as a child.
I got the motivation from Nate. I heard guitar playing, and he was playing his guitar in the hallway. And then from there, I was like, man, if Nate can do it, I can do it. So then I just had this mentality, like, hey, go back home and get on your keyboard and pick it up again. So I have this fire and desire just to inspire and motivate people through activities and music and my spiritual life.
Shaquil now goes by the name Blind Shaq.
They kind of call me the Shaq Attack. It's just because every day I'll wear like something with sharks, because it's my favorite type of animal. Sharks, they just move forward, because if they stop, they drown. So I have that mentality of just keep moving forward, don't stop. I'm also a big fan of Shaquil O'Neal, and that's what I was named after. So I was like, man, I gotta come up with something cool. Well, I can be Shaq Attack, because the original Shaquil O'Neal, his name is Shaq Attack. So yeah, that's just my nickname now, Blind Shaq. Shaq is sharing hope, aspiring quality. All right then, Big Shaq. This is the Blind Shack, and I challenge you, man. My main goal is to get Shaquil O'Neal to come down to the Alaska Center for the Blind and visit us.
Until then, he's working towards becoming an instructor and inspiring others.
My major message to people like, so this is what I did, this is what I went through, but then I chose the wrong route. I chose the fast life. I'm completely blind, a double amputee, but those are just details. I don't let that define me, or I don't let those affect me. Yeah, I try to be more positive, and then just to connect and learn and share that anything is possible.
For more information on the Alaska Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, visit alaskabvi.org. I'm gonna sing your victory, for the battle belongs to you, Lord. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.